guys, HMK here once again, and the time is now, well, the time is not now, but the time is very soon. We are about a week away from the Nintendo Switch presentation 2017, and we're gonna learn so much stuff about the games, about the system itself, the release date, so much more, and I've decided to put together a list of 10 things you're gonna learn from the Nintendo Switch event, which happens on January 12th. 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you know I'm gonna stream that biz. And be sure to get your checklist ready, or I should say your bingo list ready. And don't worry, I'm not gonna harm this paper. No papers are harmed in the making this video. So guys, let's get ready. Let's start off with number 10. Number 10, we're gonna knock out one of the most blatant things we know is gonna happen at the presentation, and that's the release date for the Nintendo Switch. We already know it's coming out in March, but when in March? So from what we know about the events that's coming after the presentation, where people will be able to try out the Nintendo Switch hands-on, we can infer that the Switch is probably going to release sometime in late March, since one of the events is happening towards the latter end of March, and they said that all these events are going to show people how the Switch works, how to play with it, blah blah blah, before the Switch is actually released. So I'm banking around 25th, 26th maybe, but we're going to know for sure at the Switch event. Number 9 are the specs of the Nintendo Switch. What we know so far is that it's being powered by NVIDIA technology. It's going to use a custom Tegra chip, and it's going to be built on the same architecture as the leading GeForce series, as they stated in their blog. But not just that doesn't give us all the information about how powerful this console can be. We're going to have to know its clocking speed, its output, and how it differs from being on the dock and on the go. There's many rumors going around of how fast it is, how can it output 1080p, 60 frames per second, downscale to 720p on the go, and all that good jazz. But not only that, we gotta know what this console uses. Of course, it's probably gonna use HDMI, it's gonna have some USB ports, but is it gonna be USB 2.0 or USB 3.0? And also, is this console gonna have an Ethernet port? Please! I am done with Wi-Fi at this point for Nintendo consoles. Like, just get an Ethernet port. And I don't want to use that old ass USB to Ethernet port bullshit from the Wii. God, I'm still using that for my Wii U. Just don't repeat that. Stop it. Alright? So that encompasses all the specs, and trivial things of how heavy it is, how light it is, and from what we've seen and how people handle it, it doesn't seem to be that heavy. But at the same time, I want to know how many wires it's gonna take, what it can do in terms of motion control, or maybe even gyroscope. I want to know all of that, and we're probably going to get that at the Switch event. They're going to go off and beyond of what the Switch can do against the competition and for you in your living room and on the go. Next one, number 8, is very important, and that's battery life. Of course, the Switch is being promoted as a console that you can play at home or on the go, but a lot of people are freaking out. What's gonna be the battery life for this thing? Is it gonna be the same as the 3DS? The new 3DS, am I gonna be able to play this thing out on the go for multiple hours? Nintendo themselves stated that this system you'll be able to play this system comfortably outside on the go without a plug for a good amount of time, comfortably. There's speculation that it could run 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, maybe even 6 hours out on the go. And from what we see in the promotional video, this guy was able to go on a flight and play the Nintendo Switch without any type of port. But I mean, like, some flights do have jacks that you could jack it in to power up your system and stuff. But I mean, I would still like to know how long the battery life. This is a very important point. Next up is Nintendo's promotional plans for the Switch. We all know about the big debacle that the Wii U had, and it was bad. They didn't market this game right. They assumed that hardcore gamers are just going to jump on the Wii U without any type of promotion and stuff. And it didn't take the time to, tell people what the Wii U was, even though a lot of people, like myself, knew that it was a separate console. There was infinitely more people that didn't know that it was a console after the Wii. They thought it was some sort of expansion or some sort of thing that you put on top of the Wii, when it wasn't. But the Nintendo Switch, people need to know what this is, and Nintendo needs to market it right, and Nintendo needs to show us what the promotional plans are for the Switch. They've done a great job so far with the hype of the underground and the casuals and the hardcore market, but in terms of commercials, where they could promote that thing, they need to tell us more. From what we know so far, they did the Jimmy Fallon thing, which was great. They were there, they presented the thing to a mass amount of people. A lot of people watched the Tonight Show, and I'm that was great. You know, they showed what the Switch was. They were pretty crystal clear about it, and they need to do more of that. Now we also know that they're going to be doing events after the Switch event for people to try out the Switch, and that'll be a great guerrilla tactic to get the Switch into the hands of the people to try it out before they go out and buy it. But they need to market this thing correctly. They need to have good commercials. They have to have crystal clear commercials. They have to have ads everywhere. They need to show what the Switch is, what it can do, and why people should buy it. We've heard whispers that they're making commercials for events like the Oscars, the Walking Dead premiere, Super Bowl, even though by the time of the Super Bowl the console will already be out. But I mean, like, they still need to promote this thing even after the release of the console itself. So they should tell us what the promotional plans are at the Switch event. New games. New games. We already have a handful of games that we know of that's coming out for the Switch, including Breath of the Wild, the new Super Mario game, teasing Skyrim, and FIFA, and all that stuff. But we need to see what Nintendo has in store, and they already confirmed that we're going to get a glimpse at the lineup of games currently in development. And I'm not talking just launch games. I'm talking about games that we can foresee up until the end of 2017 and beyond. Of course, E3 is where it's at when they're going to do something like that. But of course, we need to know why should we get a Switch now for what's going to come in the future. So we need to see the new games. And we are going to see the new games, and you got to get excited for those new games. You know, a lot of people have been talking about Rabbids crossover with Mario and Luigi, but we'll see. So number 5 is a given, but still a coin toss in the air, and that is the surprises of the Nintendo Switch. Alright, we know a lot about the Switch, some things about the games, and you know, there's a shit ton of rumors, and I want all of those rumors to end. And the way for that to end is show off the surprises of the Switch, what it can do beyond what we know already. And Nintendo already confirmed that there are a lot of things we still don't know about the Switch, so we gotta know what it is. And I'm talking about how the menu runs, all these other features, and how games interact with other games and players. And of course, this next big bullet point, which I'm about to say. So let's get on to it. Online features. Now, Nintendo already have given us hints that they want to go part into the esports, scene. And they have to give us a strong online architecture. But all I'm saying is, rumor, speculation of how they're going to run things. But they're definitely going to show us how online works with the Switch in a couple of days, in like a week. So we're going to know how online truly works. If it's going to be a paid service, or if there's going to be some sort of esports league. There's a lot of rumors about Nintendo Arena and all that stuff. But we're going to find out truly how Nintendo's going to handle online this time around. And also maybe even tell us if there's going to be some sort of program or some sort of service where it allows us to connect online on the go with the Switch, where we don't need a Wi-Fi point. Oh my god. Number 3 is Breath of the Wild information. We need it. We need it now. Oh, but why am I singling that game out? Because, Breath of the Wild, hands down, is the most important game Nintendo has for a while, and will have for a while. A lot of people are saying it's not going to make a Switch release. It's not going to make it till summer. It's not going to make it in March. And then a lot of people are saying that, yeah, it's going to make it in March. We need to know the information. We need to know if Breath of the Wild is truly coming out on Switch at launch. And of course, a new trailer or two wouldn't hurt. And more information about the game. Because if it's truly coming out in March, that is literally like 2 months and change away. We need to promote this game even more. We need information of Breath of the Wild. We need to get fans hyped! And why they should get it on the Switch rather than the Wii U. But of course, at the same time, it's like we're still releasing on the Wii U just for, for you Wii U owners who bought it in good faith, believing it was going to be on that console. It's going to be on that console. Don't worry, guys. But still, Breath of the Wild information, a new trailer, new info, how the game runs on Switch, the differences between Switch and the Wii U. Even though there's a lot of people saying there's not going to be any differences, including the developers, I would still like to see some sort of, extra inclusion as to why I should get a Switch version rather than a Wii U version. Now, number 2 is extremely important, but not more important than number 1, hence why it's number 2. And that is the price. The price of the Nintendo Switch. Is it going to be cheap? Is it going to be expensive? President Kimishima already stated that we're not going to sell, or they're not going to sell the Nintendo Switch at a loss. So that kind of begs the question, what is this box going to do? What is it going to include? And knowing all of that, it'll tell us what the price is. But I'm telling you right now, Nintendo always sells things at a good, affordable price. And they better not fuck it up this time with the Switch, because they kind of fucked it up with the Wii U and the 3DS when they first came out. But Kimishima is a businessman. The price is excruciatingly important. And if you find that right sweet spot, the internet is going to break come January 12th. With a good price, everyone's like, oh, just throwing money at the screen. Give it to me now! So price is very important. Not only the price of the Switch, but the price of the peripherals and the prices of the games. But what is more important than price when it comes to Nintendo Switch? Here comes number one. And number one is the launch lineup. This is the most important factor of the Nintendo Switch event and the Nintendo Switch itself. Because yeah, price is cool, online features is great, all this stuff learning about the Switch, but we need to know the launch lineup. The Wii U had a horrible launch lineup, and Kimishima said that the reason why we're missing the holiday season and pushing it to March is to have a great launch lineup of games so people can actually get the system and be great. This launch line needs to blow me the fuck away. Alright, I am so serious. They need to have the Super Mario game, Breath of the Wild. I mean, just those two games would be good for me. Mario, Breath of the Wild. But of course, Mario Kart 8, a port of Super Smash Bros. And all these other things. We need to know what the launch lineup of games is. Alright, we only know a handful of games, and we don't know if all those games are going to be at launch. Probably not. But they just need to destroy, they need to dismantle the competition with this launch lineup. Because if you don't have an amazing launch lineup, people are not going to buy your system up until a certain game releases. So I mean, yeah, if they just have Mario, or if they just have Zelda, that'll be system seller enough. But at the same time, I want Nintendo. I am so serious when I say this. I want Nintendo to destroy my wallet when the Switch comes out. I am not joking. I want my wallet to cry when it comes to March. Alright? I want to be like, oh, damn. When I see that shit in January, save up money. Let's go. Zelda game. Mario game. Mario Kart 8 remastered. Super Smash Bros. Remastered. A cool ass third party game. Just get me that shit. I am so ready, man. And knowing Nintendo and all this bullshit that's been going around with the Nintendo Switch, they probably have a secret or two up their sleeves that is gonna be a game ready for the Switch at March. Maybe a new Metroid game. Maybe a new Kid Icarus game. Nah, Kid Icarus. Star Fox, probably not. F-Zero. Oh my god, if there's a new F-Zero game on launch. But Nintendo's been very, very hush-hush about it. But the launch lineup is the number one most important factor when it comes to the Switch event. So guys, what do you think of my top 10 list? What do you think is the most important thing that you will learn at the Switch event? I think it's the launch games. A lot of people might think it's price. But I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Which of these numbers is more important to you? Is the most important to you? And if I missed anything, please leave it in the comment section below. So, I am so ready for the Switch event. I'm going to go live an hour and a half before the event on Twitch and YouTube. Get that shit ready. And I will be in New York on the 14th to try it out and record all that shit for you guys. So guys, until the next video on the Switch, or until the Switch event, I've been HMK. The hype is so real, and I'll check you guys later.